I've had the chance to see all the feedback. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard a lot of notes about how the pacing's kind of slow and maybe there's one too many segments in the anthology. But it's like it's always, they say it's always changing from when you write it to when you direct it, and then when you edit it. I mean, it's like each version of the movie is its own thing. And
Yeah.
when I first wrote it, I thought like this is really gonna boogie along. Like this is a fast-paced adventure, and I guess it's kind of mixed. Some people like the slow burn. Like a few people told
Mhm.
me their favorite segment was the day Mabel came out of the grave, which is like our slowest. And I was surprised by that. But generally, people like the paint and black lace segment the best.
When was the last time that you watched the film?
Oh, it was in 2024 at we went to the Twin Cities Film Festival in Minnesota.
Okay.
And that was the last time I watched the whole thing. I There's been like from time to time maybe I'll go watch like a little snippet. I really love the segment with Nancy Loomis, the
Hmm.
old dark castle house. That
Yeah.
was that was my favorite week of the whole production. We had my good friend Lindsay playing the lead in that one, and then of course working with Nancy was a dream.
I love that you riffed on like so many classic horror films. That made my heart like swell.
Yeah, that was a really fun part, was just choosing the titles of each segment and then doing little homages like the bag over the head, of course, is a reference to Black Christmas, the
Yeah.
like clear plastic. And yeah, I mean, I think for my first horror film, I really wanted to show how much I love the genre.
Yeah. It definitely comes across. Now in terms of working with Nancy, did you get to have like any one-on-one conversations with her?
Yeah, she is so down to earth. She's really into yoga, so she just has this relaxing energy. And I felt really comfortable getting to know her. I remember the first day that we had lunch, our first AD was trying to figure out who was going to drive Nancy back to set. And I just told her, like, I'll drive Nancy. And so we're just sitting in the car driving through this small town in Ohio. And she was talking about how it had been so long since she made a movie. And she kept thinking about filming Halloween back in 1978 or 77. I don't know when they were filming it, but it was really fun to kind of talk about how filmmaking has changed.
Mhm.
And she hadn't done any acting since I think 1992 was maybe the last release before Hauntology.
I
So,
think so, something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
and she claimed that she's like not comfortable on camera and it was challenging, but she's so natural. I mean, she was perfect.
Yeah. And I didn't know that she had a trans kid.
Yes, she has
I
a
didn't know that.
trans son, and that was part of the reason that she was excited to do the movie, is just to support the queer community.
I love that. I love that. Like it's so cool that out of all the films, I'm sure she probably gets pitched films all the time, even though she's like been retired. And it's cool to see her come back for this. Do you kind of wear that as like a badge of honor now?
Of course, I actually couldn't believe that she was even an option when we were talking with our producers, and we had this manager called Chris Rowe kind of pitch to us. I'm connected with Nancy Loomis. She might be interested in doing this. And I just thought, like, this person is so iconic. There's no way. And she hasn't been, I mean, she obviously retired from acting. Why would she do my movie? So really humbling, really exciting when she read the script and agreed to do it. I mean, I just kept thinking, like, there's no way this is real. I mean,
Yeah.
even when she finally landed in Ohio and I got the call that she was on her way to our filming location, I just kept thinking, how is this happening?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so cool. It's so wild how how like the film world is so actually really small, you know?
Yes. Yeah. And I I mean, I really love The Fog, which is
Mhm.
another film that Nancy's in. I actually have posters for Halloween and The Fog on my wall, so I was just like really excited to collaborate with her.
Now, in terms of queer horror, I'm kind of curious, like, what was the first horror film that you saw that you were like, oh, that's me?
It was probably Death Becomes Her, which I know is like getting a whole new life in the queer community. I think, isn't there
Yeah.
like a play or a musical of Death Becomes Her now?
Yeah, the musical. I don't know if it's out yet, but I know it's been in the works for a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
That movie I love so much that every guy I dated in my life, I made him watch Death Becomes Her if he hadn't seen it yet. It was like, this
I
is
love
your
that.
intro to me.
Yeah. So how did that like why did you connect so much to that movie?
I think I think it's hard to do horror comedy, right? A lot of people try and not as many are successful, but when it works, it's kind of my favorite genre, I would say. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, that film just like cracks me up. It's so quotable. I love that the women start out as the ultimate enemies and they sort of have to rely on each other. And at the end, when they're
Yeah.
old and haggard and they're just like kind of settled into this eternal friendship, but still frenemies. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just really fun characters and great writing.
Yeah. And I love the one of my favorite gags is when Meryl Streep's character gets her head twisted around.
Yeah, of course.
Love that.
I can see my ass.
Yes. Yes, iconic. So like over the years, what have been some of your other favorite queer horror or queer coded horror?
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you're asking because I go to Panic Fest every year. I don't know if you've been there in Kansas City.
No.
They show so many great new horror films, and that's where I've been catching like some of the newer queer horror releases. So I remember last year I watched The Rebrand. Have you seen that?
Yes, is that the influencer
Yes.
couple? Yeah, okay, yes, I have. Yeah.
It's like a kind of found footage pseudo documentary
Yes.
about this lesbian couple, and I loved that movie so much. I
Hmm.
gave it 5 stars. Whenever people ask me about like what's a fun new horror movie, I shout that one out. And I mean, even connecting back to Death Becomes Her, it's the horror comedy mashup, and
Yes.
they did such a good job, in my opinion.
Yeah, that film gets wild in the third act. So
Yes.
yeah.
And I really liked Queens of the Dead also, Tina
Oh
Romero's
yes.
movie.
Yeah, that one's fun. That one's fun.
Another like horror comedy mashup.
That one reminds me a lot of Slay.
Oh, do you mean the movie that hasn't come out yet? Or no, you're talking about the one
Hit
with
one
Trinity the
too.
Tuck.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know some people who worked on my movie are currently about to release a horror film called Slay, so I always get a little
Okay.
confused. But I've
Okay.
seen the drag one too, and it's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a question about I know a lot of corners of the queer community like are very vocal about queer villains. So I'm kind of like
Mm.
I love seeing queer villains, but like what about you? What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, that's been a whole journey of interpretation and new understandings because I think for so long, we didn't see queer characters in movies very like especially when I was younger. And
Mhm.
if we did, the character
Yeah.
was probably a villain. I mean, maybe the most famous example we have Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs and Norman Bates in Psycho. We have these kind of queer villains, and it did feel bad for a long time. Just like, is this like either we get maybe a queer character who's going to get killed off and doesn't even acknowledge their queerness openly, it's all like subtext,
Yeah.
Or we get like these villain characters, and it just, I don't know. Yeah. But I guess what I'm getting at is over time, I just started to have more fun with it, especially now that we are getting more queer horror movies. When I go back and watch older ones, like I think there's one called Windows from the 80s that has a great lesbian villain in it. Like when I
Okay.
watch these older films now, I can have more fun with it.
Yes. Yes. Um, I think of two like Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
there's a lot of like obviously the homophobia in there. When I first watched that film, it was hard to like enjoy it because of all like the coach, like just because of like I think it's the cop that is really homophobic. So it was like really hard to like get through all the F slurs. But like once I watched it again and again, I kind of like, okay, I really love this. There's a lot of like queerness in this film.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to remember that at the end, the queer character was not punished. In other words, they didn't die, but I think the homophobic like cop character did end up dying or getting like
Yes.
yeah. So it's like it was a complicated film because
Yes.
yeah, I felt like strange about it, but by the end I liked it.
Yeah. So like what are your thoughts about the ending of Sleepaway Camp?
Oh wow. I mean, that movie is just so fun that I know a lot of people struggle because the ending's transphobic, but I just I can't read into it too seriously. I just have a blast watch. I mean, that's one that I've gone back to a number of times, and I've never
Yeah.
not had fun watching Sleepaway Camp. And I mean, I might roll my eyes a little bit for that last shot,
Mhm.
because of course the implication is like, oh, like what could be scarier than being trans? Like
Right.
that's it's silly when you think of it that way, but I don't know. I do love the movie, and I don't know. Would I change the ending? I can't say. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
if it were remade today.
I'm surprised that it hasn't been remade yet.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would love to see someone's contemporary interpretation of Aunt Martha.
Yes. Oh my gosh, what a character.
I know. Who would you cast as Aunt Martha?
Oh my gosh. Um, God, like someone like Amy Madigan or
Yeah, yeah.
because she, is Gladys. I just like I feel like she would get into the camp of it all, you know?
Yes. Or even calling back to my movie, I would love to see what Naomi Grossman would do with Aunt
Yes.
Martha.
Oh my gosh. There's so much to I love characters like that that give actors a lot of chance to play, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the one of the worst crimes is to be boring. I mean, a lot of boring films are very thoughtful and artfully made, so I'm not trying to like disparage them, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't like having fun? Especially the actors. You need good dialogue.
Yes. Yes. So kind of like along with like remakes, is there a queer coded film that you would love to see made explicitly queer by a queer director today?
Ooh.
Like personally, I would love to see an explicitly queer Cat People by like a queer
Yeah,
director. That would be cool.
absolutely. I mean, one film that I always loved is The Haunting, which we've
Mm.
seen new interpretations of. Like in the 90s, we got the one where Catherine Zeta-Jones is playing the lesbian coded character. It would be fun to do a haunting that's more gay. But I did Mike Flanagan's Haunting do more explicitly gay stuff?
The TV series?
Yeah, The Haunting
Yeah,
of Hill House.
yeah, because like one of the characters is gay, so
Okay,
yeah,
good, good, good.
yeah.
Oh, and one of my other favorite films of all time is Let's Scare Jessica to Death from the
Mm,
70s. That would be great to do a more lesbian forward version of
yes.
that.
I watched that for the first time last year, and I was like, why did it take me so long to see this movie? It's great. Yeah.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it. That's another
Yeah.
one that I have a poster for it in my bedroom.
Oh, nice. Nice. Like, are there any other like queer filmmakers that you're kind of like digging right now or like rooting for?
I mean, I am excited for Tina Romero now that I saw
Mhm.
Queens of the Dead.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look up Kay Adelaide is the one who directed the rebrand. And of course, everyone's talking about Alice Mayo McKay from
Yeah.
I think she's from Australia, right?
Yes.
I've seen like three of her movies now at Panic Fest, and I enjoyed them all. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. I want to see whatever she's doing.
Have you seen The Serpent Skin?
No, not yet. Tell me about
Okay.
it.
Oh, it's so good. It's like it's probably like it's still my second favorite. I think Carnage for Christmas is still my favorite of hers, but it's a
Yeah.
close second. Um,
Carnage for Christmas is also my favorite.
yes, I just there's just something like we just don't have enough queer Christmas horror, you know?
Yes, I know. And even I always just want more horror that's set on Halloween.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's just like Trick or Treat is one of my favorite films, and that also inspired my movie because it's an anthology that connects everything.
Yeah. Especially like Halloween horror is like it's set in the month of October. It's around Halloween, but it's never like actually on Halloween.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like I watched The Bride recently, and
Oh yeah.
I found a lot of like trans rage in that film. I don't know, like personally, it really hit me. So I'm kind of are there like any non-queer coded films that you because you mentioned, Death Becomes Her, but are there any other that you kind of like really saw yourself in
Do you mean ones that are
that
not
aren't like
like,
explicitly queer or even queer coded at all?
ooh, that I saw myself in? I mean, definitely the big one for me is Carnival of Souls from
Mhm.
1962.
Yeah.
That character, she's probably my favorite character in cinema history. Hold on, I've got to grab my autographed photo.
Oh my gosh.
I love showing all
Autographed?
my goodies. This is Candace Hillegas.
Oh wow. Where did
Um,
you get that?
sorry, what'd you say?
Or where'd you get her to sign that?
I actually saw on her Facebook, she mentioned that if you go to her website, she's signing
Oh,
autographs. So
cool.
I just ordered it through the mail.
I love that. I love that she's doing stuff like that.
Yeah, she's in her like mid 80s, I think. So
Yeah.
this is like a very treasured possession of mine,
Yes, that would be
knowing that I
like,
got this.
yeah, that would be like my most prized possession. Because I love that
Yes.
film too.
Yeah, I think she's just so. I think the reason I connect with her is because she's so like isolated. She
Mhm.
like when she goes to work, she's like, I'm not religious, this is just a job. And then everyone she meets, she seems kind of bored by them or just like ready to go and do her own thing. And then when she becomes really terrified of this like figure of death that's pursuing her, she really wants the companionship of that creepy guy in her the guy next door,
Oh
like at
yeah.
wherever she's living. And it's like this push and pull where she doesn't want to be alone and she wants to be with him, but she isn't really into him. I
Yeah.
somehow relate to that very deeply.
I love that. Yeah. And that film just has like some of the best scares still to this
Hmm.
day. My favorite, obviously, the most iconic one is outside the car window when you see the face pop up. And then, of course, when she's on the bus and all the dead people kind of come at her, that's a pretty good
Yes.
moment.
Yes. I love the scene when she's playing the organ at night and she kind of has the vision of the bodies coming up out of the water. I find
Mhm.
just that lives in my mind rent free. So much atmosphere.
Yeah. And it's wild to me that Herc Harvey never did any more movies or like horror. after that. It's crazy because it's so good, you know?
I know, I know. He did a short like industrial that was it was a Halloween safety video that's just like 10 minutes long. That's as close as we get to having another Herc Harvey horror movie.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, just to kind of wrap up here, I'm kind of like, what's next for you?
Oh, um, it's tough. I'll say Hauntology did not do everything that I hoped it would. I think it has like a 3 point something out of 10 on IMDb, so no one's emailing me asking like can I produce your project, but I mean
Yeah.
on the positive side I have seen reviews come in from queer people who really love the movie. I remember one trans guy said that it's one of his favorite movies now, and I
Oh,
just like it was like
yeah.
I made it for you, baby, like
Like stuff like that,
um
I imagine it makes it all worth it, you know?
yes, yeah. It's like it can be really hard when the negative, like the 2-star reviews are rolling in. But as long as I get my handful of fours and fives, it's like that's why I made the movie. But I mean,
Yeah.
to get back to your question, if I'm gonna make another film, I'm gonna have to produce it myself probably. And I have been toying with some different ideas. I have one that's like a Daughters of Darkness meets Clue. We
Nice.
get a group of people coming to a mansion or whatever house we can afford, and maybe there's a lesbian vampire who invited them there, and I was thinking maybe they kind of get killed off one by one and do something like that.
Yeah.
I also have thought about doing a found footage that's a little bit inspired by Carnival of Souls, where this woman has a near-death experience and then she feels something is following her. And that would be a movie I could make for next to nothing.
Yeah.
So that may be coming, but we'll see. Because over the last 2 years, I've just been trying to save up money and have like a stable life because making
Yeah.
ontology was so difficult and expensive. Um, it really put me off of making anything new for a while.
So do you have like scripts that you're writing now?
I have like three different scripts that I started on, and I also have a super long list in my notes app that anytime I get a fun idea, like how you get like a shower thought or in the middle of the night you'll have a weird dream. I just open my
Mm.
notes app and I put the date and then I put whatever this idea is. So I've got, I mean, over 100 of those. I've